Listen, we have jokes today. Okay, folks. You know how I do. Welcome to the Evening People Show. I'll take a minute to send to myself, mate. Don't worry, the church people are not dying yet. This is Third World, and I'm just paying homage to some of the veterans in the music business, right? Yeah, alright. I'm gonna wait on them enough. I need about 15 more seconds. Now the message of this song is a good message, right? And it says, if you're out there somewhere feeling lonely, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. Alright, that's true. That. What I wanted to know is that the Evening People Show is here for you. Yes, we are. And that's what we do. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Evening People Show. I am your host, Martin Matthews the First. No second yet, but I'm working on it. Thanks for joining the show. If this is your first time, thank you for being here. Whether you're joining via Facebook or YouTube, thank you for checking in today. Where's my banner? Where's my crawler? Let me find it and get it going. Here's my crawler. There's my crawler. The Evening People Show. Now, on this show, we meet people. We talk to people. We interview them. Folks that are making a difference. Folks that are making a change. We typically get involved in some poetry at some point. The poetry usually comes from my book, which is behind me right there. It's called Love, Life, Confrontation, Expressions, Selections from the Chronicles of a Black Man. It is a book of poetry. If you're in Jamaica, it's available in Fontana Pharmacy in Mandeville, in Montego Bay, in both Kingston locations, which is Barbican and Waterloo. If you're anywhere else in the world, it is available on Amazon.com. I'll probably have one of my peoples put the link in the feed so you can see it. Anywho, no time to dilly-dally today. We have so much to do. I have a very, very special show for you today. I have several very, very special guests. I know I only advertised one, but I have several. And if this is your first time, just strap in and enjoy the show. Thika Sutton in Jamaica, Arcadia Boucher in New York are on already. Bless upon herself. Thanks for joining. My guest tonight is Louise Laurent Rose. I met her many moons ago at the Michael. She refers to herself as a helping professional. Can't wait to ask her what that means in real life. She is a teacher. She's a guidance counselor. She was acting vice principal. She's a master trainer. She deals with health and family life educator, community relations officer, Club Scout leader. She's a chaplain for the police. I could go on and on. And I think one of the things I really want to find out is how many hours are in her day that gives her the option to do everything that she does within a 24-hour period. Because I can barely get Work done. Earth Angel Mel say, go Louise. But without further ado, hello, madam.
Hello, sir. How are you?
You know me. I stays how I stays. I'm always good to go. I'm always in a good mood, and it's beneficial for me. How about you? How's Cali?
Cali is warm and it puts me in a good mood too. Yeah,
The
I'm
warm
well.
things to do that. I'd like to take this moment to reach out to all our folks up north that are experiencing winter. I feel it for you. I'm gonna have a
Empathize. I empathize.
I know, right? We're gonna have a quiet. Anyways, we have a lot of things to cover. Lot of things to cover. Lot of things to cover. So
Yes.
I'm just gonna jump right in. You refer to yourself as a helping professional by calling. What does that mean for you?
All right. So, as you mentioned, some of the roles that I have played in your introduction, or some of my professional roles, you will realize that all of them have to do with helping people. And that's basically what the helping profession is all about. So, your teachers, your guidance counselors, your health and family life education officers, your education officers, they are all about helping. And I center my philosophy in 1 Corinthians 12:28, which says, God has set in the body of Christ first apostles, prophets, teachers, administrators, and the ministry. You mentioned other ministries, but the ministry of helps. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where I fall in terms of my giftedness. And so, you know, I have throughout my life just found myself on this trajectory of helping. And so I'm working within my giftedness. And so helping, it comes naturally to me. And so when you're
Nice.
asking about how many hours I have in my day, I mean, if I'm not helping, it's like the day's going to be so long. But then if I'm helping, I'm just walking in my purpose and I'm well.
Walking in your purpose. I love to hear them. Something they see make me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. Now, um, if the educational landscape of Jamaica was a literal landscape, it would be fair to say that you have made quite an impact on that landscape through the various roles that you have played over the years. You were a teacher, guidance counselor, acting vice principal. Um, you feel pretty much you've checked quite a lot of boxes along that. Now, what would you say? In which of those roles would you say you've had the greatest impact in the life of students and in the life of or in the education system itself?
All right. So if I should use the metaphor of the educational landscape, I think I would have made the most groundwork, firstly in the education system as an education officer, particularly during the times of the planning, development, and the implementation and support of the national standards curriculum. So, Martin, I know you kind of come with the education for a long while,
I'm
but
there, I'm hip to the idea, to the things that
yeah,
are happening.
but we have now a new national standards curriculum, and I'm telling you, when I came out of college in 2000, I went right into the classroom. And at that time, they were implementing the revised primary curricula. And then as a new teacher, learning, how to use it and how to get my students understanding and the parents, etc. I feel like I have come full circle 20 years approximately after that, being an education officer, being at the help, helping to write, helping to implement, helping, to the whole process. So that has been the most meaningful for me.
Okay.
Mhm.
No, go ahead.
As a educational practitioner, it would have been as a guidance counselor. So my greatest impact was when I was not a classroom teacher, because even as a classroom teacher, I found myself helping the students, visiting them at home, sharing, all I have with them and talking to them, counseling them, and so on. So I spent like I think 2 years just doing regular classroom teaching, and then I did my first degree in guidance and counseling. And
Now, I think there's a student of yours that you think could speak more to your impact
yes,
on students. And who is that student?
that's Hopal Richards.
Hopal Richards. Now, Hopal Richards, we're going to find out some more about later on the show. And this is an awesome, awesome, awesome young lady. Like, you know what? I don't want to let the puss out for now. We just go have her comment on what we need her for. Later on in the show, we'll talk about just how awesome this young woman is. But as far as your impact on students, we're going to invite Hopal, and she's going to tell us about that. Hopal.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Hopal.
Hi,
How are you?
Hopal.
Hi. Okay, so Martini asked me to comment on Mrs. Rose. Well, I knew her as Miss Lawrence for most of the time, impact on my life. So, as you see, Mrs. Rose today, she's always this time. Mrs. Rose always has this chirpy vibe. She's always, I've seen her upset maybe once, but it wasn't long lasting. She always has this vibrant, and it radiates into her students. Her guidance counseling classes were really entertaining, and you would get the concept. And she was also such a loving and warm person. Like anything you faced as a child back then, you could go to Mrs. Rose, and she would listen to you. She would give you advice and say, so and forth and so forth. And she would try to also engraft your parents to help make sure that you as a student feel heard and that your situation, that some form of change can come to it. So, in seeing her model that, I personally, when I moved on to high school, because when I left Golden Street Primary, she was no longer there. I moved on to high school, and things like that stuck with me, making an impact wherever you go. She doesn't know, I don't think she remembers, but one day she actually came to my high school and she went up on that stage and she spoke. I believe it was a child's month. And I was like to my friend, that's my primary school guidance counselor up there. And they're like, for real? I'm saying, yeah, she's such a sweet soul. As you see her up there, that's how she is in person. So, making an impact wherever I go was one of the things that she left with me.
Hopal, thank you, my dear. And we were going to have you back later on because there's other things we want you to visit for us. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Hopal.
You're welcome.
Now, I like Hopal, you see? She's so open. She might be Brittany. That is awesome. Now, how was that? Like, how is it like seeing students talk to you, talk about you in this way, about how you've impacted their life? I think, does that kind of put everything else in perspective?
Yes, it's always awe-inspiring. It's like I feel like I am accomplishing my purpose. When I hear my students, they see me at the supermarket, they want to carry my stuff, they want to fight over me, they're trying to, wave to me. And so I know that I did well by them. And, I am just so very proud of them. And
that's good. That's excellent.
Fills me up inside.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Now, you are a published author.
Yes, sir.
With contributions in the health and family life, education, development, and you helped to develop, I'm not even sure how to put this, work that is being used throughout the Caribbean. Tell me about your experience with this, what you guys set out to do and what we've accomplished so far.
All right, so I'm going to start with a little story again because I put God in everything, right? So I have this gift of writing. So along with the help, I am given the gift of writing. So maybe I would be a scribe in those days. So I've been writing, I've been journaling all my life. Actually, I had mentioned to you that I'm even writing, my own life story. The journey continues, and each chapter, I'm adding as I go along. And so I had gone to, the person just called me before I signed on. I didn't even know she was going to join. I went to her book signing. That's Dorothy Martel. Hi, Sister Martel, if you're listening. I went to her book signing, and the pastor called out to us and said, he feels a writing spirit in the room.
Nice.
And if we believe that we have the gift of writing, we are to come up for prayer. And I'm telling you about prayer. So prayer is everything to me. And I went up for prayer, and he prayed, and he just, launched us off, and he said, "You're going to write, you're going to be published," and, prophesied over us. And I'm telling you, shortly after that, a friend of mine said, "Listen, Louise, I'm on this writing team and somebody fell off. I know you have the skills of writing. Would you like to, would you like me to talk to the team for you?" And da 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 da. Turns out it was a team from publishers from Macmillan, UK, and they gave me a contract to write for one theme of the health and family life primary text. Now this is a 7-level course from kindergarten to grade 6 for primary school students that help teachers break down things about life skills and the different themes of health and family life education, self and interpersonal relationships, sexuality and sexual health, appropriate eating and fitness, managing the environment, in age appropriate modules for students and for teachers and for parents too. And so I wrote for one of the themes, and they were pretty impressed, and they gave me another contract to write for a second one. And
Nice.
so, yeah, I was published in 4 of those books. And so these resources, as I said, will develop knowledge, life skills, values, positive attitudes, and help students to relate to real life situations. And that they are not only in Jamaica, but the entire CARICOM community,
Very nice.
where they help the teachers in their delivery of the subject. So that's the objectives, and the books are doing well so far.
That's excellent, Louise. That's good. Hope nobody don't call me. We want to get called for right to jump on. But I'm happy for you though. That's very impressive
Thank
and that's good.
you.
And you know, my conies be doing it with their might all
We do
day
it with our
long.
might.
So that's very nice. That is very nice. Now, outside of your professional career, you do a lot of community work in your community. Tell us about being the Cub Scout leader with the Scouts Association of Jamaica. What activities do you undertake with these groups? What is that?
Okay, so I am currently on leave. As you see my on my description, I have CA, which is California. So
Mhm.
we'll talk about that shortly. So I used to engage with boys of primary age, take them on different expeditions, away from home, away from their communities, hiking, camping, rallies, just exposing them to different, widening their experiential backgrounds and helping them to get new meanings in life and, make new friends and so forth. And it was very beneficial to them and their parents, and it helped
Mhm.
with their discipline as well. They used to send the troubled students to
Yes.
me to help to carve their behaviors and so. And I found that this intervention really worked with them. And so I used my after school time and sometimes on weekends to help them. When we really want to change a society, we have to put in the time. We have to find the time, Martin. We can't just wish it away or will it away. So a lot of what you see is happening in our country.
Mhm.
If more of us would volunteer to take like a 5 students or a 2 students and spend some time with them, reading with them, just asking them to explain what's happening with them, talking
Right.
with them, and so forth, it will help to break down that, anger, frustration level and all the different misdemeanors that they may get engaged in.
Mhm.
So,
And you don't have to feel the world. You don't have to fix the world. You
you
just want to
can't fix the world, but you can
just
do something. So just start
yes.
with one child.
Yes, I
Yes.
agree. I agree. Now, there's another area that you work in, and it is you serve as a police chaplain with the Jamaica Constabulary Force Chaplaincy Service Branch. Now, first and foremost, I didn't know there was a word called chaplaincy. I know that there's a word called chaplaincy. Now, how is that? Like, what exactly is that? How does that work? What does it entail?
Well, it entails helping. So you see, I'm still walking in my calling, but you get the training from the police. So you learn the law side of things and then how to support support. So, they will quickly take the juveniles. I don't really like that word, but that's what we
Mm-hmm.
call them, the students or the children who are not behaving, to the police. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of sometimes, and some parents do what they'll do, they say lock them up in the cell, give them a
Wow.
little shocker, stuff like that. So the
Yeah.
police need that kind of support. They need counselors, they need, helpers who will help to bridge that kind of gap, talk with the students, the youth, and find out what is happening with them and how they can help to serve. Also, I learned how to do like debriefing after sessions. I learned that in counseling too, but
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes on to death news, how to deliver a death news, because people will fight you. Sometimes you have to run. You understand? So you have to know how to say it, how to debrief the family, how to get them ready for it, and
So
then
you go into the jail? Do you go into
I go into the police stations. Actually, my husband is also a chaplain of police. We
okay.
never trained at the same time. He was a chaplain long before me, and then an initiative came on through the Safety and Security Unit of the Ministry of Education that education officers could be trained, especially the ones who had that component of guidance and counseling to them. And so we did the training, and it really enhanced what we did. And so we support, and I actually support my husband at the police station. So sometimes when he needs, like, a female, if we're talking about rape or stuff like that, he will call me in.
So
And
you go to the police station, not the prison.
the police station.
Oh,
But
you
yes,
see,
yes, I
you
go to the
see,
police station.
I
It's
thought you went to the prison.
community support. I've been to the prison, but not as a chaplain. But I mainly work with my husband at the Stony Hill police station.
Okay, we're going to talk about hobby in a minute, but we're not there yet. Now, you're currently working on your PhD at La Sierra University. What area of focus are you working on, and what's next after completion of the doctorate?
All right, so this is another story. I started, I did all of my bachelor's, my master's, and even for my master's, I did a case study of a very good teacher, but it wasn't anything very passionate, like, what is it that I want to write about? And so something happened to my son. He was getting sick very often, and we just could not figure it out. And they were thinking it was asthma or some respiratory disorder. Anyway, I brought him overseas and I got him tested and all of that. And it was revealed to me that he had a high concentration of lead in his blood. Now, we had to do a lot of research to find out where that exposure came from.
Mm-hmm.
We really did not pinpoint the source, but we did, when we investigated, found out that a number of things in the home, including toys, were lead laden. And so we had a referral from the doctors here in the US and to the Ministry of Health Jamaica. They came and they did their checks. They checked the water, they checked the paint, they checked the soil. And as I said, they checked the toys. And so they found lead in the toys, and even one item of furniture that we had with us,
Really?
a particular paint, it had a lead in it, and so those were removed. So I became very interested in this area because I was thinking that, hey, look, people just, he had a birthday, he was just recently 2, and persons just brought toys and stuff for him, and then here we had, so what about those children, like the less fortunate children who perhaps just pick up a toy somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
What's happening with them? What's their blood? And how many parents have the opportunity to go abroad to get this diagnosis and to come back and do something about it? And so I became very interested in the area. So I started to write my proposal and I made my presentation at the ministry, etc. And so along came the team from La Sierra, and I applied and I did my interview and I got a scholarship and I started to pursue my studies. However, I met upon a roadblock in that the lead studies would have to be environmental science. And so
Mm-hmm.
I could not get someone to supervise that area. So what I have done is to segue into autism.
Okay.
Because there are some studies too that it's not conclusive. Some say it doesn't, some say it do. And so I'm going to see if I can investigate further if lead exposure actually lead to autism.
Okay. I have a friend in England that does some work with autism. She has a thing she calls Spotlight on Autism. Um, her name, we share the same last name. Her married name is my last name. You guys should get into contact. 'Cause she does some really good work with it. It's called Spotlight on Autism, like I said. And yeah, it's out there. It's legit, and it's impressive actually to see that you took something like that on that had such a personal connection to your life and
Helping. I want to help. You understand? Yes. So there are others out there who I believe I'm an education officer, like middle income. What about the poorer class? What is happening with them? And is there
nobody, right?
something that I can publish to help other parents? And
Mhm.
so it's going to be along that line. And
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say in the end, I want to come out as an educational psychologist to
Okay.
study children, how they learn, and to identify social and behavioral issues that impede their learning.
Excellent. Now, you just mentioned helping. We started off by saying you're a helping professional. And in that line of helping, let me see what Miss Perez has to say here. You work with students of autism, Miss Perez. Blessings, blessings.
Blessings, Shakira.
Mm-hmm. You see, I didn't want to say the name wrong. I said Miss Perez, come I can't mess up Perez. All right, now that I know it's Shakira. Hi, Shakira. How you doing?
Our batchmate.
Right? Now, in the line of helping, we're going to invite some more people. We're going to invite Hopal back, and we're going to invite a young man as well named Nathan. Nathan, wait, Nathan, you ready? Hopal, you ready? All right, let me see if I can get these guys on here because they're going to tell us about some stuff that they not potentially, that they need our help with.
Right.
Hopal, I'm going to let, seeing that we heard from you already, I'm going to let Nathan go first, and then I'm going to have you go. So, Nathan, you are on. Hopal, you're coming as well. Hopal, you're on. Nathan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine.
I hear you're doing some good work down there, Nathan. I want you to tell me about it. Now, you have a GoFundMe set up. We have the information in the comments. We put them even before we went live, just so folks can see it and know what we're talking about. How did this come about? What is this about?
All right. Just to start, I'm an aspiring cardiothoracic surgeon. Right, that's a surgeon that operates on the lungs, and the esophagus. I get this passion. I get this passion from, wanting to help people. Sometimes my mother is very sickly, my sister also, and from that, sometimes you want to help and you can't help. So, I want to be that person that makes a difference in
Nice.
that, especially in Jamaica's health system. All right, so the med school here is very expensive. It's 28,000 US dollars a year. In on a Jamaican salary, that's almost impossible to pay. A normal person could never pay that. Yeah. All right, so basically that's $4 million a year. Even though I'm academically qualified
Mhm.
to actually go to school, you have to prove your ability to pay the fees. So you'd have to give them blank slips, pay stubs to show them that you can pay the fee before you can actually get admitted. So even
Tell me
though,
about the qualifications that you got in order to qualify for that in the first place, just so the viewers are aware of what you had to accomplish even to get this far.
all right, so basically, to get into UE, you actually have to have, I think you have to have five CSEC, at least five CSEC, including chemistry, bio, and physics. And you have to, all right, the top grade in it would be a one. Um, and then you'll have to have 2 years of CAPE, 2 units of CAPE, chemistry, bio, and another subject,
Mhm.
along with home studies and Carib studies. All right, so for the sciences in CSEC, I got ones. I got ones along with um maths and English. I
Nice.
got ones. All right, for CAPE, I got ones in bio, ones in chemistry, and I
Wow.
got I got a two in physics. I got a two in physics, but Yes, I'm academically qualified to get
You're very academically qualified, my good sir. It's almost like, listen to him. He's saying, I got a 2, almost like it's a bad thing. You know what people are already happy if you get a 2, or if their kid got a 2 after listing all the ones that you got in chemistry, physics, and biology. You got a 1, and you're like, oh, but I got a 2. Are you kidding me? You're impressive, sir. You're impressive. You did good. You've done well. And never you even approach it as if it is anything less than that.
Yes.
I would have paid good money if I could get a 1 in physics, chemistry, and biology. Okay, so never you think that you have not accomplished, whether or not. Well, I'm sure this is going to come true. I'm sure it is going to work out for you. But if just get your head in the mindset already. Get yourself in the mindset that this is going to happen. This is what you're going to do, and it's going to come true for you. Because right now, hearing you say that, you know how much youths out there your age in a kind of passa out the road right now. You're sitting with your mom, with a support group, telling me you got an A or a 1 in physics, chemistry, and biology, and you're almost downplaying it. I want to go get a bullhorn and shout it and say, I know Nathan Hines, and he got a 1 in physics, chemistry, and biology. It's no small matter, sir. It is not a small matter at all. It is a marked accomplishment, and with young men out there being given such a bad rep, a lot of the times to see you as a young man, steady yourself, focus yourself, and accomplish this at such a young age, you have nothing but greatness ahead of you, and I wish you all the best.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. All right, do you want me to go ahead and continue?
Say again?
Do you want me to go ahead and continue?
Yes, please. Please, God. I got excited, Nathan. You have to forgive me. I got excited. Continue.
All right, so I actually, after I left high school, I worked at my same high school as a physics teacher and also as a science lab technician. All right, I taught third form, fourth form, and sixth form. So yeah, it was very hard at first because even some of them were actually older than me, and to actually get their attention. It's an all boys school, so it was very hard.
Right.
But eventually it paid off because to know that I didn't have a degree to actually be teaching them, and some of them even said I was their role model because I just left. Some of them were even my friends, and I ended up teaching them. So it became easier, but at the same time, the money for med school is still large, massive. So I was still unable to actually even touch that money. So I'm still not in med school, and I'm again working. Well, I'm no longer working at George's because I actually applied for a one year contract because I intended to start med school.
Right.
And then corona happened, and corona basically pushed back me trying to get into med school and me getting back that job. So I ended up getting another job at a call center. So I'm currently working at that call center trying to make some money to actually save towards that. But in the end, I would have to be working for years upon years before I ever made that money.
No, well, you see, right now I'm gonna reach out to everybody that's viewing. Gonna hear so the young man have ambition and as he say more go places, and he has the ability and has demonstrated the ability to go places. The link to the GoFundMe is in the comment section of the show. Go in there and show some love to this young man and see if we can get him across the hurdle and get him to the next level of development that he's seeking and capable of reaching. All right. All right, Nathan, you good?
All right, yeah. And I want to thank you so much
for
this opportunity.
Oh, yes. That's what I'm all about, Nathan. Helping people is what I do, or at least I try. All right. I'm going to bring Mommy Stephanie back on in a little bit, but I'm going to talk to Hopal for a little bit. All right.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Now, Hopal, before I talk to you, I want to bring Mommy Linez on here. I hope I say your name right, Linez. Linez, you ready? You there?
Okay.
All right. Now, Hopal, you, how should I say this? You are the top food and nutrition student in the Caribbean. and I'm going to say it twice just in case people don't get it. You are the top food and nutrition student in the Caribbean, not Jamaica, the Caribbean.
Yes.
Now, tell me about your GoFundMe. Tell me what your plans are, what you're trying to get to, and congratulations on being the top food and nutrition student in the Caribbean.
Okay, so hi everyone. So currently, my name is Hopal, as Martin said before. Food and nutrition student in the Caribbean. So my GoFundMe is about attending Johnson and Wales University in North Carolina. So let me backtrack a little. When I was entering fourth form, I was very confused. I didn't know what I wanted to become. I was wavering a lot between different subjects, but I knew, unlike Nathan, doctoring was not for me. I could not keep up with the sciences. And I took on 10 subjects because I was confused. I didn't know what to do and I didn't want to limit my options. Mm-hmm. When I got to the end of grade 11, I received 7 1s and 3 2s.
Whoa!
So that is us now.
Hold on. You see, Mommy Linez, my dear, your daughter, she gets 7 1s. You know how happy my mother would be if we could go home with 7 1. And when you look for my paper, she just see 1 come down, so. I probably would have got a stipend. That's 7 1s. No, but go ahead.
Thank you. So the merit list for CSEC is actually released in October month end. So I remember vividly, I was at school today and I was in my Cape Food and Nutrition class. And I knew the merit list was coming out, but I'm like, okay, the merit list is coming out. This has nothing to do with me. And a young lady came to the food and nutrition lab and she said, Hopal, you're first in the Caribbean. I must say, Akila, you're too light. Stop it. And she said, I'm not lying. And as the same nutrition lab are opposite ends of the school. And as I began walking back to the sixth form, people were like, congratulations, Hopal, congratulations. And I'm like, so true. And I went to the classroom and I sat down and I opened my computer and I looked at it for myself. And I was like, oh my God. So I saw that as the confirmation in my life of where I was supposed to put my best foot forward as I want to become an executive chef. A lot of people, tend to look down on people that tend to go more after skill-based careers. But coming from a family where my mother is a skill-based person and my father is a skill-based person, I have a different outlook that many people tend to have. Mm-hmm. And start from there, I saw that, Hopal, being this was for you. And it started to align where as a child, I used to love watching Food Network. I know it just came together like this is what you were made to do. Yep. So now recently, researching schools over the years, I became very attached to Johnson and Wales University. I went on the website, I looked at the pictures, I did the virtual tours, I did everything. And then I applied. And that day I was at home and they said to check the portal at 2:30. I saw 12:30. At 12:30 I didn't see anything and I was so heartbroken. I'm like, I really get so attached to this place and nothing. I went back and I said it was 2:30. When I opened the letter, I saw that I received a scholarship of 21,000. I was so happy. I called my mother, I screamed, I tell my friends I was so happy. But then the next foot dropped because I didn't realize that even with that scholarship, I didn't have the necessary funds to make up the deficit. And having dreamed about something and wanting something, because everywhere I went and I met people who were chefs, they mentioned the school. They went there or they wanted to go there. So it was just like this school was following me in circles and I just could not get out of the cycle. I want to go there so badly. Because they have the best of the best. They do. And from my child coming up, I've always strived to get the best of the best. In everything that I do, I go to the #1 all-girls school in Jamaica. Everything that I do, I just strive to be the best that I can be. So, you know, after speaking with close friends and, you know, people to give me advice, one day I was at home and I was watching a sermon and it said, closed mouths don't get fed. And I said, you know, keeping this to myself is not going to help me. It's better for me to try and then to say, okay, I made an attempt to try seek the funds to go here than to sit with myself and settle for something that was not going to make me happy. And then years down the line, I look back in regret and say, maybe if I had said so, I would have been where I wanted to be today. So with that said, I set up my GoFundMe. The goal is 30,000, I believe. Yes, it is. I've already collected $440. I'm really grateful for that $440 because it brings me steps closer to paying my commitment fee. So if there's anything that anyone can reach out and help, I will greatly appreciate it. You can ask Mrs. Rose. I do bring good return on investment. I do. I'm a well-rounded student. There's so many things I can tell you about Hopal today, but that's just Hopal in a nutshell. But I'll be really appreciative of anything that anyone can donate, share. I'll be very appreciative.
Hopal, right now, Hopal, I'm praying and hoping for a person to just come and cover the whole thing. You know what I mean? I'm hoping somebody watching or somebody that will see just come and call, whether they call Mommy Linez or they call you or they just reach out to you guys via one of the mediums here, or they reach out to Miss Louise or they reach out to me, and then just say, you know what? Them are going to foot the entire bill. That's what I'm hoping for. Yes, everybody that can contribute, I want to contribute, but I know there's somebody out there now that I could just come in and foot the entire bill from A to Z. The whole bill I could just get full from A to Z.
Praise God.
And you guys are amazing. You guys are absolutely amazing. You guys are doing what a lot of people out there wish and pray and hope their own kids would do. You guys are doing it. You guys are coming home with report cards that every parent hope their children would come home with. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping for you that there's someone out there that is hearing now or will hear through the shares and one of the different mediums, and they will reach out and say, you know what? I can put this entire bill from start to finish, and I'm going to do this for you. I had someone on the show before, a friend of mine. He's in Canada now. He just opened a restaurant in Canada, and that's Noel Cunningham. He has a cookbook out as well, and he did food and nutrition. And he was talking about how coming up food and nutrition as a man or as a boy at the time, how, you know, there's certain, like you said yourself, there's certain stigmas attached to it, how people kind of view it in a particular way, almost like it's not as good as, you know what I mean? But it is. Being a chef, look at Top Chef. Like you say, you watch Food Network. I watch a lot of Food Network too. Being a top chef, being an executive chef, being these things, these are esteemed titles and positions to have. And I absolutely wish you all the best, my dear. And I absolutely want to congratulate you on what you have accomplished so far. And the fact that you even went as far as to get a scholarship to help you some distance of the way. And now we just want everybody else that's out there that can to come on board and get you the rest of the way.
Amen. And it will be done.
Thank you so much, Martin.
Thank you, Hopal. Thank you for joining. Mommy Linez, we're going to have you back on in a little bit. But you ladies take care, all right? All right. There you go. Yes, ma'am. All right. And all right. So, Louise, here we are.
Yes, sir.
What a picture of impressive.
I am so
What a picture of impressive.
My heart.
To go there and do more and be more.
Yes.
That is great. That is excellent. I'm glad we did this. And people out there, want to see them, Them are go
Yeah.
out with things that you, them are go out with things,
Yes.
man. Them are go
Yes.
out good. Like I said, and I meant it when I said it. There are a lot of parents out there, you know, who would have hoped that their little picking would have got a school and
Yes.
do
Take their
well.
work seriously.
Take them work seriously and do
Yes.
well because there are a lot of distractions out there to distract kids.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean? But these two individuals, Hopal,
Sure.
Richard, Nathan, Hines, they went out there and they did it.
Very driven.
They did it. They're driven. They're coming home at that age. You know, because a lot of kids don't figure out who they are yet or what they don't understand themselves enough to focus enough to get these things done. And
So
these two have done it. Let's meet them halfway. Let's take them the rest of the way. Let's show them that we care about these things. Now, there's one more question I have for you, my dear, before we segue into some poetry. There is Louise, the First Lady.
mhm.
First Lady Louise Lawrence. Let me get some comments going on here before. We have Grace. I think Grace said she did a Jersey. I don't remember. But thanks for checking in anyways. We have Shine in the building. We have Kathy Ann, Miss Robin, Katie R. Miss Robinson. That's what I'm gonna go with. Who are these kids? They're amazing, aren't they?
They
I
are. They're
know, right?
awesome.
They
They're
are totally
awesome.
amazing.
They're awesome.
Yeah, man. So everybody out there that's seeing it, thank you, Mel. You don't know the people them are doing thing in a big life. Them are doing it with they're doing it with their mic and them
With
know you
their
with their
minds.
mic. Oh, you
Yeah,
understand?
we have to inspire them.
Yeah,
Everything
man.
we do.
Them are going good, man. Them are going good in a real life. Now, like we were saying about Louise, First Lady. First Lady, Louise Lawrence Rose. Tell me about First Lady. Tell me about it. I second First Lady, me have in as many shows in it. No, but in about 3 shows now, I've had 2 First Ladies on there. Tell me about Big First Lady Louise Rose.
Well, this must be one of my most inspiring roles because this is where I get to support my husband, who is a minister in his ministry. And so here we go, helping again, right?
Right?
So I have to be that, shoulder for him to listen to his heart for ministry, to help him along the way with all my skill set. I find that I can be very organized. And so I compliment him in that way, help him, with his schedules and all of that. He bounces ideas off me too for sermons and so on and so forth. Um, but mostly what I do is I pray him up. I pray him through everything that he has to do. I cover him and I make sure that I keep home stable. We have 2 beautiful children, Javier and Jade. And I'm telling you, they
Them
are
on the wall. I see them on the wall behind you.
yes, they are our pride and joy. And so what I do, I just make home a stable place for him so he can do what he has to do out there and we can come home to a haven. And then, I do my support with the church as well, with the young people, with children, with women's ministry. And, I play that role, that supportive role as well. So
Amen.
that's where the first lady comes in.
Now there is wait name again. There is a women's ablaze movement that
Women
you're
ablaze.
part of. As a women
Women
ablaze.
ablaze.
Woman or woman? Women?
Women. Remember your pronunciation, sir.
Oh, I
Women,
apologize, dear. You
women.
see, we have a mutual friend that would have said that to me, and it's your friend too. And
Yes.
uno leave me alone.
Hello, Marsha.
Uno leave me alone.
Love you, girl.
Women ablaze. Did I say it right? I
Yes,
did.
you did. You did.
Women Ablaze Movement International presents Global Prayer Relay 2021, and this is taking place between April 29th and May 1st. Now, to do that, we're going to invite the parents, the mothers of Hopal and Nathan to the show, and they're going to help tell us about this
The relay.
relay that you ladies will be running.
Let me just make the link for you because these ladies are all friends. And so we came together when the pandemic started. I just started with just about three of us on a Facebook post, and we said, we're Stephanie and I are from a previous school that we taught together, the first school I mentioned. And we used to pray together with others, like at our lunchtime and or recess and so we got back together and decided we were going to pray, pray through the pandemic, pray through our issues and so on, because, we miss those times. And out of that small WhatsApp group, we have actually started a movement. So we have women from as far as Australia, UK, USA, Jamaica, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. And so one of the concepts is a global prayer relay that our communication director, because we all have constitution and everything, and the things start to get big. So Stephanie is our communication director, and she's going to tell us more about that.
What about Linez? What Linez do? Linez, you ready?
Linez is just a prayer warrior, man. Linez is on the battlefield.
Hold on. Linez, are you there right there? Linez.
Yeah.
I can't see you where you I can't see you. Where you there? No, me not see you. Me see Hopal with her hand on her head. Like Hopal I say, Mommy, look how me take care of this something for you. Hopal I say, Mommy, look how me take care of this something for you. All right, Linez, I'm going to give you a minute. Hopal going to start out Mommy. I'm going to give you a minute. Maybe soon carry back. All right, now, Stephanie.
Yes, my dear Michael.
We hear say you're the tech savvy one. Tell us about this relay. Do I need a baton? Do I need to get a team together like a 4x1? How this go? Talk to me.
You can catch the players of blame too, because it's really a wonderful, awesome privilege to meet as women to really pray. And I think the product of our children is really through prayer. We have to pray them through, because you see all of the adversities planned on our children, the issues in the world, the pandemic, all of the crime and violence taking place, and the families, the adversaries trying to affect the family adversely. So we decided to come together and pray for each other. And from that, the flame just burst to spread throughout Jamaica and throughout the world. So the relay is really about the world. We're taking prayer to Asia, Africa, all of the various continents of the world. As we pray together, we start the baton with Australia, and then we pass the baton on to the varying continents of the world, the different countries within the continents. And we have already started to prepare all of what we need in prayer, as well as to seek sponsorship partners and all of that in reaching out to these issues through prayer, which is really a powerful weapon. Also, we try to not just sit by ourselves, it's a partnership. You can join into, and you're welcome. Your viewers can join into, because prayers make things happen. And there is the true and living God that we really need to seek for advice, whether we want to accept it or not. He is our creator, and he's there to listen. He is our problem solver, and he's there to carry us through all of the issues that are happening in the world today. The prayer relay starts from April 29th, April 30th, and goes into May 1, where we'll have different points, different legs that we start the baton on. You can come and take the baton from us and pray too, Martin. And we go into the countries really via Zoom. But the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, and the Father is omnipresent, omnipotent. So we do not limit the power of God while he calls us to do his will. And that's what we're here to do. We already have our t-shirt. I'm wearing mine. You can partner with us, and we start a Man Ablaze movement. And let's see where the Lord will take us. I mean, Nathan and Hopal can start Youth Ablaze. Let's see what the Lord will do, because we really need things like this to really carry us through in a world that's today.
Yes, I'm about it. You see, it's so funny. I'm gonna say something right now, real quick. Blessings, Miss Bell. When I was a kid, I thought I had to pray the way I hear people pray. So it's so funny. People talk patois and then them go to church, and when they ask if they pray, they say, "Dear Lord Jesus, we thank you for today," and them talk English. You know what I mean? It's almost like me. I say, but when me I pray, me don't really want to talk in English. Me want to talk like how me talk. So
Yes,
me
man.
want to say,
I
Father
don't
God,
mean
you
to
want to say,
interrupt
Father
you.
God. You know what I mean? Me want to say, Father God, you want to say, John, oh, that thing I just not write it.
And
I
he
really
hears
want to
you.
help you look
Yes, he hears you. Then, Martin, if we're going into the continents and some of these persons speak Spanish, some of them speak French, we are catering to all of the different languages. God is not limited. So you radically come to him and say, boy, Jesus, you want to say me I go through some stress. We can't manage to pay my son's school fee. You know, your sister medicine is so hard. It's such a hard thing. And he has worked so hard. And guess what? God may not have the money. And look what he's doing. I'm on your show, Martin, with my son. Glory be to God. And that's a
Amen.
start.
Praise
Yes.
God.
We're going to have altar call in a minute. We all
Yes.
want to be like Christ.
Amen.
God did it, darling.
Yes.
Let me see that. Linez, are you there, my dear? Linez, can you hear me? Over. Linez, can you hear me?
Oh no.
Linez,
Oh no.
are you there? Wait, hold on. Look like she had tried from a different medium. Linez, are you there now? Let me see if I can unmute your mic. Unmute your mic, Linez. Linez, are you there? You might mute, my dear. Unmute it.
Mhm.
All
Oh
right.
dear. Oh
Well, I
dear.
didn't want to hear from Linez, no? I didn't want to hear from Linez because Linez is Hopal's
Mother, an
is Hopal.
awesome woman of
I'm
God.
very impressed with Linez,
Oh,
with Hopal.
can I say something about what Hopal said about the skill area? So Linez is an excellent seamstress. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, things that she makes, you would think that they came out of, your top store. She's
Mm-hmm.
very good with her hands. And I'm telling you, Opal is just
Mhm.
walking, in that lineage of what the skill.
No, and that's excellent. And she's right. Like when I had a guest on a while back, like I mentioned him before, Noel Cunningham, and like I said, he's from Jamaica. He did home economics as a young man,
Me
and
too.
and he's now in Canada. He just opened a restaurant in Canada, in Toronto, and he's doing well. And he's like, he was trying to bring across the fact that, hey, people, snap out of it. You know what I mean? And everybody are going to do chemistry and physics and biology.
Right, right.
And it is okay. It is okay to do home economics. It's okay to do metal work. It's
Yeah.
okay to do TD
Carpentry.
and carpentry. You know what I mean? These are the people that make the world work. You
Amen.
understand? Everybody have furniture in their house. Where you think it come from? And somebody have to make it.
Yes.
You understand? A lot of people in Jamaica have burger bar upon their house. Where you think it come from? Somebody have to make it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Somebody have to make the block that build the house.
Yes.
Somebody have to make all these things. But yet still, these are vital things that you need for your life and existence. But you look down on the persons that make it. It just don't make sense.
Exactly.
It just don't make sense.
Yes.
Let me see here. I'm going to try. Hopal. Hopal, are you there? What happened to mommy? What happened to mommy?
The same location. So my wife, where I am, I think her wife.
I think she said where she's at, she's fine, but mommy's Wi-Fi not to sort out. All right. All right, my dear. Well, you get to represent mommy, So you represented yourself. Now, an electrician, yes, electrician. Them go like electrician and a good profession too. So you're gonna represent mommy. Do you know about the global prayer relay?
I'm not well versed on the prayer relay, but I do have an idea of Wami and how they bring women together and they pray a lot. My mother speaks very highly of them. And she she always comes home and say, hopefully, I'm going on the Wami prayer meeting, and I will listen in. And they really, there are a lot of women that may be hurting or, they just need a sense of community. And I believe that Wami does provide that. I believe my mother as well wanted a sense of, and she found that in them. So them coming together and praying and sharing their thoughts, and I hear her talking about her daily nugget, and she has to do her daily nugget, and she has to do her presentation. She's very excited, and I know somebody else there, that's Auntie Stephanie, that's my mother's friend. This Stephanie put another one. And she also, Auntie Stephanie is always on fire talking about one as well. And so many people could not be talking about something that is
not good.
That is not good.
All right. You see why I like Hopal? I like Hopal, you see?
She can represent well.
Let go, we just put her on the spot and she just handle it.
Yes.
I wish you all the best, Hopal. I wish you all the best, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Martin.
My dear, take care. All right. So, and Stephanie, that was good stuff. You seem to be burning for the Lord. I can appreciate stuff like that. I'm aspiring to be burning. And I'm not gonna lie, mommy and daddy burning, and I'm kind of living off their burn right now. But I'm aspiring to be burning, and I'll be burning soon.
Praise God. Praise God, Michael.
That's what I'm saying. But I appreciate you, ladies. I appreciate
you,
Stephanie, and thanks for coming on and telling us about the Women Ablaze Movement International Global Prayer Relay 2021, April 29 through May 1. All right, and feel free to put it.
Thank you so much, Martin, for having us, and it's indeed a great pleasure, and we're looking forward to seeing you there.
Yes, I will be there. Just send me a link. I'm in the PP Club. I'm going to try Linez one more time, Watch me Linez one more time. Linez, you there?
Yes, praise God.
Praise God.
Yes, hallelujah.
Talk to us, Linez. Talk to us.
God is good. What a mighty God.
Praise
I
him.
just said I can't bother with this. The internet went down. I said, Lord, maybe I need to go pray now, seeing that Hopal has already declared her statement. And then when I come back, I realized that my camera was not on.
But here you are. Praise be to God. Here you are. Talk to us. Tell us about this global prayer relay. Tell us about it.
But my setback is my comeback. So here am I now. Right? The global prayer relay is that from the 29th of April to the 1st of May. We'll be having this prayer relay. They want to reach the 7 continents and also to get persons on these continents to come on the prayer trail each day. They'll be doing different hours of prayer. So we want persons to get involved as much as possible to pray. Pray for Jamaica, pray for all the continents, Asia, Europe, all over. It is so exciting to know that while praying for these continents and doing the research, over time we saw persons coming on the platform from these continents, and that tells us that prayer goes beyond the unseen. It goes beyond the seas and beyond the mountains, beyond everywhere. And so I'm blessed to be a part of this relay.
So let me ask you something. Linez. Let me ask you something now. On a scale of 1 to 10, how proud are you of Hopal?
Well, it's maybe reached 11.
Yes.
I'm so elated for my daughter, and I'm so blessed to have a daughter like Hopal, who from early childhood stage, she always hit 100. And generally when she comes home and get 99, I ask her, what have you done with the 1? I remember when she got the 7 1s and the 3 2s, she was a little downhearted and she felt disappointed that I was going to ask her what happened to the other
ones, right? The 3 1s.
Right. Because she wanted 10 1s. And when I saw she was getting down, I said to her, Hopal, you have done well. You still have 10 subjects. Just bless God and just continue to work. And when we got the news that she was #1 in the CSEC in the food and nutrition subject, that was another celebration. So Hopal is always allowing me to celebrate, especially if sometimes when I feel down. I remember having Hopal, I gave her the name. A part of her name represents her daddy, and the next part, the all, means that whatever I did not achieve, Opal should get all of that. So when she set out to want to go to, she told me a long time that she want to go to Johnson's and Wales, and she want to be an international student, and she just want to go straight into studying, finish, and then she get into the work world. And she gave the reasons why she don't want to work and then finish study. So she's very excited. She's sleeping it, she's dreaming it, and she's walking it. So at this time, Opal really want to go to Johnson and Wales. And with the scholarship that she received, we celebrate that day when we got the letter. And it's just a blessing for the family. If somebody or if God will allow persons out there to support us and give us this chance. And I know the Lord is able to do it.
Yes, he
Amen.
is. Yes, he is.
Amen.
And Hopal deserves it. And I wish I pray that this will come through for you, ladies. And she can be all that she's capable of being.
I just want to mention one thing about WAMI. WAMI is a short for Women Ablaze Movement International. So what happened is that the theme of the relay is Revive Us Again, O Lord. So please remember that. And also for further information, you want to check out our Facebook page at WAMI official Facebook page. And you'll get like registration form and other updates on a day-to-day basis. All right. So thank
All
you.
right. Well, yes. Make sure you put that. Make sure you put that in the link. All right, Hopal, Stephanie. Thank you, ladies. I mean, not Hopal, Linez. I apologize. And Stephanie, thank you too for joining and telling us about, the relay. And I wish you ladies all the best, both for you and your children.
Thank you so much, Martin.
God bless you, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, ma'am. Take care. All right.
Have a good
And all right. Louise, then there was me and you again.
Again.
Again, it was me
Yeah.
and you.
What do you say?
I can't imagine how happy these women are for
Yes.
their children. I know my mom would be over the moon
Yes.
had I been able to pull off 7-1 and 3-2 in a CXC back in
Yes.
the day.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm happy for these guys, and I'm glad that their parents out there that are still taking the time to raise up kids a particular way to reach. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the time, so I think we're limited, or we limit ourselves because we don't have the ability to dream big.
Right.
We don't have the ability to see beyond our current circumstances. We don't have the ability to reach for something else that we can't see and trust God and trust faith to get us there.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean? And to see these people reaching for something that even as we are here right now, they don't know how it's going to go, but they're trusting that they will be able to get to that point, and the things that they need will present itself. You know what I mean? Just like the sacrifice, on the mountain with the burning bush and all these things.
Hey,
I
Brown.
don't want I'm gonna think me know too much
You
about
know,
these
man.
things.
Go on, talk.
But
Preach it.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Just like the sacrifice presented itself, when a sacrifice was necessary.
Yes.
And a man never have to sacrifice the sacrifice he thought he was gonna go sacrifice at that
Right.
time. But the sacrifice presented itself.
Right.
I mean, in that same fashion,
Yes.
I hope that, what they need presents itself at the
Amen.
time that they need it so that they can have it and they can do what is necessary for them.
But I can tell you that that's my story, because when I got my scholarship to come to La Sierra, I mean, I did not, well, there were so many other expenses. And I just decided that, you know, Lord, I see the first staircase. I see the first step of the staircase. I'm going to take it. And I came here actually on a faith walk. Actually, I'm on leave, but I'm not on study leave. So I'm not being paid or anything. And I'm telling you that needs are supplied. Tuition, living expenses, books, you name it, food. God has been provided even in this pandemic. And so that's my faith walk. And it's, you know, prayer is a great weapon behind all of that. Prayer and faith. Prayer and faith. Take
Boy,
the
yeah, a good something.
take
A
the
good
scripture.
something. The Evening People show take a whole turn to the boy. I'm borderline. I try to fight back 2 tears. I want to jump out of it too. Right now. But yes, this is the Evening People show. And if you are just joining, if you have joined before, thank you for the YouTube, for the people I see joining via YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. Check that out. Like, subscribe, share. But yeah, on the Even People show, we actually have to cover some poetry. You know what I mean? If we don't cover some poetry, we're not staying true to the Even People show. You know what I mean? So Miss Louise,
Yes, sir.
which poem are you gonna read for the folks today? And you know, before I even read the poem, I wanna highlight again Hopal and Nathan. Um,
Go
I
for
wish
it.
you guys all the best. You know, your moms, Linez and Stephanie. I wish you all the best as well. And I really trust that all your dreams will come true because you guys have put in the work, and it is just right that you reap the benefits and the help you need to get you where you're trying to get to will present itself to get you there. All right. Now, that being said, we're going to read some poetry. This is the Evening People Show, and we read poetry on the Evening People Show. Now, what are you going to read for us today, my dear?
Transition.
Transition. Now, for the record, a couple people have been on that read transition. So I'm just going to let you read transition, and I'm going to ask you anything that comes to my mind after that. You hear?
Okay.
Go for it when you're ready, my dear.
Frustration expressed with a pen. The absence of peace. The absence of zen. Insecurity in one's state of mind. Questioning the motives of the other side. The sadness that persists. Absence of laughter. Absence of bliss. The silence that permeates. Nothing said in this dormant state. The ever fleeting clarity, confused by our own reality, saturated as with showers, one more inch and the flood devours, retreating to calculate the sum, sourcing the disturbance of my equilibrium, taking note of the errors of change and appraising that which remains, pondering each and every word, what's said versus what's heard, deducing the unspoken need, not of the giver, but of the one who receives, anticipating the resurgence to come, reanimating where it all began, changing the tactics to meet the goal, maintaining the peace in one's own soul.
Maintaining the peace in one's own soul. Amen to that.
Praise God.
Amen to that. Thank you, Kadia, for putting the link to my website on there. Teacher Light is on here. Yo, cause Elicious, make up yourself, my friend. He's saying, Hail Martin, Kazito in the bit. You don't know. I love me some Cars Light, boy. This guy is a phenomenal guy. I'm gonna have him on the show eventually. Really, really great guy. Bless up yourself, Carzito. I call him, his name is Cars Light. I just come up with any variations of cars that comes to my mind. So he's Carzito, he's Carzilicious, he's Carzito, anything, anything that comes to mind that started with cars, that's him. All right. So, all right, Louise. I'm gonna wing it here with all the questions. So, why did you choose transition first and foremost?
Well, Martin, I believe that this poem represents what I'm going through right now. It is just speaking to me.
Okay.
It is, and I mean, it's really pensive. I am at a point where I am, transitioning, and I am looking at my frustrations, asking myself if it's worth it. But I love the ending, maintaining the peace in one's own soul. And I mean, that is the end all and be all of everything. So transitions will come. I mean, all the different stages of my life that I've been through. It has never been, okay, this constant. It might be constant for a while and then it's uphill, downhill, a little roller coaster, a
Mhm.
little steady, and then you move on again. So there will always be transitioning. But the beauty is to reflect, to analyze, to journal, to, maintain relationships and to have the peace in your soul.
Okay, you said maintain relationships and having a peace within your soul. Now, what role would you say transitioning plays in relationships, or is transition not a thing? Can you just hit the autopilot button and kick back and let the autopilot do the rest, or or do you have to actively take part in the transition to make it be worthwhile?
I'm going to tell you a little thing that a wise counselor once said to me. Life is in relationships. So, to everything in life, we have to go through it through relationships. And, when we're transitioning to, even if we're going somewhere else, it's to another relationship, even if we're leaving one behind.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it follows us. It's not an autopilot, it's something that we have to work through in
Okay.
relationships. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna. This is just straight up me troubling you, because I feel like you chose a safe poem. I feel like you came on the show. I advertised you. You advertised yourself as First Lady Rose. Um, you have some church people probably on here and all these things on here and all these things. And I feel like you chose a safe poem. The book, Love, Life, Confrontation, Expression, have all kind of spicy poems in it. I had a pastor on here, Reverend Garrett Irvin, who chose one of the spiciest poems in the book. I cannot believe that he chose that poem. But you chose a safe poem. Um, why did you choose a safe poem? Why didn't you choose one of the more, you know?
Martin, the truth is, I wanted to turn your set into a church service this evening. I wanted to turn it upside down and let the fire burn in here. So I wanted to keep it along that theme of what God has been doing in my life, my journey, and then, what's happening in Women of Blaze and kind of tie things in. So I didn't want to go into that part, but believe you me, you can invite me back on the show to go down the spicy road with you. Because as a health and family life education officer, these are tough things that we have to work through with others and with our students to answer certain questions related to sex and sexuality. So I'm not afraid to go down there. It's just that for the theme
this
of
this was the show for it.
this wasn't the show for it. So we
But
can
you don't want to have a relay on one leg of the relay, a prayer and fasting, and the other leg of the relay,
talking
educational
about
building.
exactly. All right. So we're just gonna focus on the prayer right now. You know that my sister, big up Jody, she was on YouTube and she said, wait, a church service.
The church service,
Yeah,
indeed.
Jody is very much like you. She's very down to earth. She's just like radical. So
No, but there's a thing I see all the time. That real things happen to real people in real life.
yes,
You know what I mean? And you can flaunt it and present it however you want to.
right.
Real things happen to real people in real
In
life,
my
and
real
sometimes
life.
it's pretty, and sometimes it's ugly. I just have to take it as it is. Now,
Exactly.
Ms. Perez says transition can cause relationships to
To dissolve
dissolve
or to
or
grow.
grow.
Yes.
Tell me about your thoughts on transition causing relationships to dissolve or grow.
Yeah, because the sad reality is sometimes you find that you outgrow people. Like, okay, you might have looked up to someone at a stage in your life. Okay, let's look at, sometimes you watch these kung fu movies,
Mhm.
and you have that teacher, that sensei, and then the student comes and the student kind of knock out everything out of the sensei hand, and the sensei get a shock of life. Like the student become now better than the teacher, and it's like, yeah, you find like you have to move on from some things and you have to dissolve a relationship. Or you it can also help to, build or form a new one. So it depends on where you go with it.
I'm still stuck at Kung Fu movie. I can't believe you actually said Kung Fu. Particularly, you actually said Kung Fu movie. No, you did not say Kung Fu movie just
What
now.
was I supposed to say? I'm so sorry. I'm not very good on movies. I'm not a
No, no,
sure
no, no, you're right. I just haven't heard anybody mention a Kung Fu movie
in a
in
long time. Okay, I can tell you that I'm aged,
time.
right? I'm aged.
Auntie Louise, what go Miss Dell?
That's my sister. That's Jody Bell and her daughter Isabel saying hi, and she loves the vibes. You see
Okay,
that
well,
her icon was Aki.
okay, I see that. I see the Aki. So it's probably going to be my longest show on record, but I'm having fun, so I'm going to keep going. So let's do this. Um, Verses 2 and 3 of the poem gives us some insight into the situation as to what is going on. What assumptions can be made about the nature of the relationship of the two people involved? I'm going to reread verses 2 and 3 for the viewers. Verses 2 says, "The sadness that persists, absence of laughter, absence of bliss, the silence that permeates, nothing said in this dormant state, the ever fleeting clarity, confused by one's own reality, saturated as with showers, one more inch, and the flood devours." What's happening here?
Well, a whole lot of sadness and silent treatment, and nothing really happening. It's just like dormancy. The relationship is really dying, and the clarity is also fleeting. You're confused on every side. What's happening? Is it your own reality? Is it something else? And the flood, the flood of confusion is coming in inch by inch. So I just think it's just a state of confusion, self examination, exploration of values, just that time of reflection, and it's a decision making time.
It's a decision making time. So that leads me to ask, and it's probably going to be my final question in interest of time. But what role? And I hope I didn't ask this before. What role does transition actually play in relationships? Like as far as okay, I think I did mention this before, but here's what I'm trying to get at. Relationships evolve. It goes through stages. This poem itself kind of goes through almost like the stages of grief. It's almost like that you have the stages of grief you go through. First you're sad, then you're mad,
Angry,
then you're angry,
depressed,
you're depressed.
yes, and then
All the different
finally you
stages.
accept it.
Then finally you accept it,
Hmm.
and this is transition.
Yeah.
Um, do you think that nowadays in relationships out there persons are actually allowing themselves to go through these stages, or are they kind of doing the hop skip and jump from one to the next, and because of that they're not actually making any meaningful connections to anyone, because when they're not no longer involved, they're not actually giving themselves time to center, and to find themselves and to understand themselves and understand what they really want and like, you just kind of jump into the next thing that presents itself.
All right, so I'm gonna use myself as an example. I was coming out of a relationship when I was younger, and I actually, when I decided that this relationship is too toxic and I don't want it anymore, I didn't go home, didn't go anywhere, and I stayed home. And it felt like the walls of the house were caving in on me. That's how it felt. I felt like I was alone. And I felt like I was alone. And I wanted to go out. I wanted to call up my friends and I wanted to say, okay, meet me there. Or, I feel so lonely. And you know what I started to do, Martin? I started to play some music and I danced. And I danced until I sweat. And I danced by myself. And it brought so much healing and it brought so much inner peace. And I started spending time with myself. I started to, reflect on what happened, journal what happened. And when you go through this and you go back years after and read what was going through your mind and you see how much you've grown from there, you realize that the process is very, very important. And so I'll encourage anyone who's going through a transition period to appreciate the process. Don't skip it, don't hop it, don't jump it. Go through it because it can only become better. So on to better.
On to better. All right. Well, Louise, that's all I have to ask you. Any final words you want to share to the folks before we jump off this thing here?
I want to say something to the folks and I want to say something to you, Martin. Because when you invited me on your show, actually, because I saw the ad before and I was like, no, this thing really, it's good. Your brand, your show. I actually felt this even like I was coming on a profile. And so I just want to encourage you to keep up the good work, keep up the excellent work. I can tell that you're a person of excellence and my spirit meshes with yours. And to the viewers out there, praise God, I'm just going to encourage you to pursue excellence because God is all about excellence. He could have made the earth in one day. He could have made it in a minute, but he spent 6 days, rested on the seventh day, and he made it. And even man, he could have just said, let there be man. But he went down into the dirt and he formed every, unique characteristic of man. And so God is a person of excellence. And so let us pursue excellence in everything that we do. And so this poem I'm going to read for you and for the viewers out there. And it's basically, it has spoken to me in my walk as well. It says, dear educators, but it can be anybody. So just say, dear, whatever your profession is, you will touch the lives of people that hold the cure for cancer. You, Martin, you will touch the lives of people who hold the cure for poverty and hunger. You will touch the lives of Nobel Prize winners, teachers, ministers, innovators, leaders. Your mission is to motivate them, inspire them, and create a chain reaction. Your job is to cause an effect. Like a pebble dropping into a pool of still water, you can create a ripple of infinite possibilities. I don't know who wrote it, but this is such an inspirational poem, and this is my desire and declaration for you and for all the viewers on today. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you for joining the Evelyn People Show, and I wish you all the best. All right?
Thank you. Same to
Take
you.
care. All right, folks. That, believe it or not, is the ball game. I want to say thank you to everybody that joined the show today. I want to say thank you for the guests that we had on here. I love meet impressive young people. You see, it gets me very excited, as you saw for yourselves. When I meet impressive young people who represent themselves well, who represent what they were about well, I have hope for the future. And getting the opportunity to talk to Hopal and to talk to Nathan, that actually gave me hope for the future. Like we mentioned, their GoFundMe is in the comments. Check it out. If you have the option to contribute, go ahead and contribute. If you have this option to make a lump sum contribution and just take care of everything where they need to take care of from now in a one shot, go on there and take care of everything that they need taken care of in one shot. Again, this was the Evening People Show. Thank you for joining us on our new time on Saturday at 7 p.m. Well, it's 7 p.m. where I am, 6 p.m. in Jamaica, and wherever else you are. Me know what time it is at that time. Make sure you check it. All right, peoples. But thank you, and everybody take care, and everybody stay safe. And you know how I do when it's time to go. It's just time to go.